Here we are, Rahul Sangoi.
All is well.
How did Rio start?
Coming back to India, I mean, we still saw that same legacy colas, oranges. There was no innovation done by these big things. After 3 years, we realized that, this can, business is just not a side hustle. It can actually make good revenue.
So many a times a business owner is not able to even think in the direction because of the constraints.
A cat who aspires to be a lion needs to quit running behind rats.
If you really have to stand tough, then you have to be adaptable.
There is no point crying government is this way, that way. आपको इंडिया में धंधा करना है तो you have to be, as an entrepreneur, you have to be thick skin and you have to be super agile.
One business mistake that you'll never forget.
Yeah, I mean the biggest business mistake that I will never forget is.
Rahul, so you are actually been a tough man here.
So India is a land of opportunity and the India growth story has just started. So anybody who's looking to be an entrepreneur, I think this is just a great time to get into entrepreneurship and build a company because India is the place.
Hello friends, so today we are here for the second episode of U-Turn with Ashika Sarkar. And like every episode, even today, we will run through a very inspiring story of Rahul Sangoi, who has been a trailblazer in his industry, who has been a daredevil, and he has launched a brand which he has given a tucker, a literal tucker to a lot of FMCG giants in the space of beverages. He has created a mark, and here we are, Rahul Sangoi.
Thank you, Ashika, for hosting me on your podcast. It's lovely to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rahul. So, Rahul has been a beverage entrepreneur. He has had his challenges with his health. He has overcome those challenges and he has been a marathoner. And we will hear about all his challenges and his achievements going forward. So, I'm very, very happy to have somebody like Rahul on our show today. So, Rahul, this is such a lovely drink.
Yeah.
So, what is it all about?
Oh, lovely. So, Ashika, we are India's one of the foremost or the kind of innovators in the bubbly fruit drink space. So essentially, we've got 6 flavors in our portfolio when it comes to bubbly fruit drink. So it's a carbonated fruit drink with almost 15% juice content in it. All the flavors are super exotic. So name a few flavors. One of our flavors is wild berry, which is actually a concoction of mulberry, raspberry, as well as strawberry. Then the other flavor is raw mango, which is again kacha aam. Again, nobody's giving this kind of flavor. Then one of our, very fast-moving flavor is guava, right? Guava group. Again, we are the first in the country to be launching a carbonated guava. Aapne juices, you might have come across just guava juices, right? So then this is another, first time in India that this flavor has been launched. It's called as the acai flavor. So acai berry is basically found only in Brazil. So that's where we actually import the concentrate from. So this is again acai berry. So all the kind of, flavors are super exotic. They're enhanced with honey and vitamin C. And the best part is that all the flavors have 20% less sugar as compared to the traditional carbonated beverages available in the market. So as such, Rio already has that better for you kind of halo around that. So we started the company with that. And around 3 years back, we've also launched a kind of, mass premium energy drink, Rio Boom, right? Which is again priced at 50 rupees for a can.
That's it.
And, yeah, so you have at the absolutely bottom spectrum, you have that mass energy drink, of 20 rupees. Then you have the mass premium of 50 rupees, where Rio Boom is positioned. And then you have the super premium energy drink where, Red Bull or Monsters are priced at 125. So this is just a recent. And with this, we are targeting the tier 2, tier 3 kind of cities of Maharashtra as well as Gujarat.
Wonderful, lovely, lovely product portfolio, Rahul. So, Rahul, can you share this story? How did Rio start? कहाँ से आया ये idea?
Yeah. So essentially, Ashika, me and Rajiv, my younger brother, we've always been big beverage aficionados, right? Right from our school days and our college days. Practically every day or every second day, we used to love sipping on colas or oranges or fruities, right? I went for my post graduation to Melbourne. Rajiv went to New York, and both of us experienced something very similar, right? That whenever we used to go into a supermarket and walk the beverage aisles, right, you would see n number of options, right, from bubbly fruit drinks to carbonated beverages to aerated waters, energy drinks, right?
Fruit drinks.
Yeah. So there was a vast array, and apparently the Western market is a highly developed kind of beverage market. But coming back to India, I mean, we still saw that same legacy colas, oranges. There was no innovation done by these big things. And hence that kind of, eureka idea or that light bulb idea came up as to, why don't we actually launch a kind of bubbly fruit drink? There was a good amount of white space, right? At one end of the spectrum, you had the colas, 10 rupee stuff, 20 rupee stuff, and Red Bull had just started penetrating the Indian energy drink market.
When was this?
But this is way back in 2011, 12, and it was priced at 75. Again, pretty much premium, right? So we thought that why don't we launch a mass premium kind of bubbly fruit drink, price it around about in that sweet spot of 25, 30, a little premium, but not that high premium, and target the youngsters of India, right? The Gen Zs that we say. And that's how our experiment started. And Pune was a perfect kind of pilot market for us.
Ground.
Home ground, always called as Oxford of the East, where you have lots of students. So it was just a perfect kind of pilot market for us. And it took us almost 3 years to get the product market fit right, right from the taste, from the flavors, what kind of packaging will look nice, a lot of iterations and all that. And somewhere it took us 3 years to perfect that. And after 3 years, we realized that, this can, business is just not a side hustle. It can actually make good revenue. And that's when we put up our own plant. And then rest is history. As we started expanding to new geographies, the team size went from 3 people, that's me, Rajiv, and my first cousin Rohan, from 3 people to now we are almost like a 140 people company, from just 3 distributors in Pune to almost close to 200 distributors spread across 25 cities. We're starting with just 200 retail stores in Pune and now almost 30,000 retail stores, with now modern trade and quick commerce also adding revenues. So it's been an eventful, exciting, a roller coaster ride till date. Yeah, that's been our journey till date.
Wonderful. But was it always on your mind to start your own business? You didn't want to take up a job after your college?
Of course, before going off to my, MBA in Australia, I worked for 2 years in a marketing firm. Then went and did my MBA, got back to India, again worked with a company. Then I joined my family business, which was, into auto components distribution, dabbled that. But somewhere, I had that inkling in my mind that I want to start something on my own. I don't want to carry forward my
Legacy.
my family's legacy somewhere. I thought that, that's not my cup of tea.
And probably this kida of
Starting,
starting
something on your own, starting a new brand by yourself. And I was one of the favorite students of my marketing professor, Professor Reed. Yeah, and he used to always tell me that any time that you have to launch a beverage, it's need to be a 3 or 4 letter word. You need to get into a kind of beverage. I mean, a kind of brand building space where it's very aspirational and all that. So there were couple of categories that we thought about, and beverage is one that we, it just came up. I just told you the story, yeah.
Nice. So, Rahul, people who, like me, who are first generation entrepreneurs, who are not the Gujaratis and the Marwadis, जिनके खून में business होता है, we always feel that somebody like a Rahul, who's a good Joe, business is in his blood, things must have been quite easy, quite swift for you. How do you say, what's your take on this?
So I would say, that's a kind of myth. Starting anything from zero takes a lot of sweat, lot of time, lot of efforts. So nothing comes on platter because you're setting everything from zero. And especially, the 3 founders, we never came from a beverage background. It's like, the family business was from the trading background. So we were right from We had to build a manufacturing plant, get into distribution, get into brand building. So everything was from zero, So we had our own learning curves. But in my sense, whether you're a first gen, whether you're second gen or a third gen, but starting anything from scratch, I feel that all the kind of entrepreneurs fight the same battle in their initial years.
Aye. But the josh, the energy, the enthusiasm in the initial days is at a different level, isn't it?
I think as an entrepreneur, you have to keep your josh, energy throughout your entrepreneurial journey. It's just not in the initial 1 to 2 years. I think that josh and energy by default, it's there for the first 3, 4 years, right? Because you started, you see initial sales come up. But that josh and energy is required in the latter part of the thing where, when you start hitting a little bit of rough patch, when the sales are not going as per your things, then you're not getting the kind of trajectory that you want. That's the time that juice is required to, take you to the next level.
So Rahul, आपने अभी बोला that throughout the journey of an entrepreneur, you need to be high on your josh. You have to pump in that energy, and every day morning you have to go with that josh.
Yeah.
How do you keep that josh on in you? Because I'm sure in business there are going to be ups and downs, and you must have seen so much. So how do you pump that energy in yourself?
Couple of ways that I do that. One of the thing is that in the last almost 7 to 8 years, fitness has become a very integral part of my overall, you know, day. Right. I get up every day by 4:30, hit my either do my run workout or the gym. So that's actually sends the adrenal high. Right. So I'm ready for the day. So the energy the moment that I enter the office, my energy levels is already high, right? So that's one way. Second way that I always look at is regular basis, I believe that, you have to go and talk to your retailers. That's where the gold
The personal
insights are.
connect with your
Yeah,
distribution network.
with your distributors, with your retailers. And lot many times you get so many good insights that, oh, wow, okay, let's work on this particular kind of promotion. Let's work on these kind of schemes. Okay, there's a new product idea that the retailer spoke about or the distributor spoke about or something that I saw on the shelf. Or I regularly visit, we do a lot of activations, right, in colleges, schools, sampling activities. So I make it a point that I will go and speak to these youngsters.
Lovely.
So these youngsters also give you a lot of josh. The moment that you speak to them as to what do they aspire, what's their kind of, go-to mantra for whatever they do. So that way also you do it. And of course, then I have a certain, I'm a part of this lovely organization called as Entrepreneurs Organization, right? So basically, EO, right? So that organization is all about entrepreneurs, first gen, second gen, and third gen, right? So I think I derive a lot of kind of inspirations from my fellow entrepreneurs as well, and I connect with them. So that's where the energy comes in. And yeah, so these are a couple of ways that I derive my energy on regular basis.
Rahul, you just mentioned that fitness is a part of your daily routine.
Yes.
But as much as I remember, you had a tough time, you had slip disc, and you were absolutely immobile for a
Yeah.
long time. From there to running marathons and creating such kind of records, what is that journey?
I think I was, I was right from my school days, college days. I've always been on a heavier side. I used to be, Ashika will be surprised that I've touched that 3-digit number of
You
100
did it?
kgs when I just got married.
I was going to ask the production team, cut, let's not talk about fitness with me. But yes, thanks.
So I was like almost 100 kgs, and I was not that and I used to I was never consistent with my workouts. 2 months, 3 months, do the gym, go for walks and everything, then to take a big break for next 3, 4 months. There was nothing called as diet. You pick up anything and you just put it in your mouth, munch and everything. But in 2013, as you mentioned, slip disc hit me. And I went to the doc, and the doc said that, Rahul, you're too young for a slip disc. You will have to lose weight. That's the only way. And, at that point of time, the fastest way that I thought that how could I lose weight is start running. And I started my running, slow. But that running bug really, really kicked into me after 3 to 4 years. And then I got myself enrolled with a coach. The overall journeys just kept getting better. And I think COVID has been a big game changer in the entire fitness journey where, I got a lot of time to put in myself, on myself, invest a lot of time, especially when it comes to physical fitness. And post that, I also changed a lot of eating habits, especially because I travel almost 2 to 3 times a week. So, but now at least I try to maintain my eating habits, and workout has become an integral part. Yeah, so it's been a long journey, but a very fruitful one. And I think fitness is going to be imbibed kind of regime till I die.
Wonderful. Now that you just mentioned about fruitful, let me talk about your brand Rio. Rahul, it's a fruit drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exotic fruits and wonderful flavors. Where do you get ideas from about this packaging and, considering that you have a Gen Z audience, these kinds of exotic flavor, this lovely packaging, where did all come from? How did it all happen?
So, Ashika, Paradigm Plus, your agency was the first full-time, I mean, a hardcore agency that, we got on board. And that's the time that, how to build a brand, what kind of packaging insights that you need to look into while building a kind of brand and all that. So, I think a lot of inputs have come from Paradigm Plus, from you, plus your creative people. So, that specifically laid the kind of foundation stone for Rio. And post that, of course, there are a couple of ways that we actually try to gauge as to what packaging, how it's going to work. Is definitely we go, as I already mentioned, that we are very heavy in activations. So and I meet the youngsters very often during these activations. So we will take this prototype kind of um, packaging to these youngsters, show it to them, get their kind of feel as to how they are feeling. Again, a lot of inspiration that we derive from the Western markets as well, because overall the design philosophy is very evolved over there. And of course, agencies definitely have their own role to play. So all this put together, I think it works out wonders. Yeah. And
But we're doing a lot of maza on the shelf, I'm sure.
yes, and the reason
Very
that,
eye-catchy.
and the reason that from day one we said that we are not going to have a very plain Jane kind of packaging at all, because we didn't have, I mean, we don't have that deep pockets like these big MNCs are, right? So
I'm sure.
how do you actually make your presence felt? Is that we thought that let's make packaging our first sales person. So the moment that the cans go on the shelf of a retailer, the consumer, the moment he will look at that, he'll say, "Arey, kuch to different hai, kuch to bahut colorful hai, so let me try it." And then, of course, when he likes the taste, he'll come back again and again to consume it. So that's been the philosophy that we've always kept the packaging at the center of the universe when it comes to product designing.
Rahul, way back in 2015, 2016,
Yeah.
whenever we met for strategic discussions, I have always said that, Rahul, would you want to be bootstrapped always?
Yeah.
Would you not want to do a valuation and look at equity?
Yeah.
And you have been like, no, I want to, be a bootstrap company. What's your take on this entire ecosystem now, the startup ecosystem, which is like, even if you are in losses, have that kind of a valuation, liquidate the stake. So, do you believe in this philosophy? Is it bad as for you to liquidate your, have that valuation mentality? Or how do you look at it now after so many years?
So I think there is nothing right or nothing wrong in this world. That's the conclusion that I've come to. It's just about the founder's mentality that does he want to dilute at a much more earlier stage? If he doesn't have that financial kind of backing in the initial years, of course, then he has to go to capital. I mean, to raise capital. So there are a lot of ways that one can look at. So there's nothing right and so I don't. I mean, I don't want to point fingers at those people who are raising money or not, or they're diluting at such a thing. But, I can speak for myself that we didn't want to raise at the early stage because, by God's grace, of course, we had the bank loan running as well as, we've also put in founders equity and our, COGS, what do you call about, cost of goods or our gross margins are pretty high that has we been able to sustain our journey being bootstrapped, and we didn't want to dilute early. But yes, going forward, would we want to raise funds? Yeah, at an opportune time, definitely we would look at it. So there is nothing right and wrong. It's just about founders' mentality. Some founders want to build and sell. Some founders want to, you know, kind of reserve their equity how much ever possible, and at that opportune time liquidate that.
You would get a better valuation now.
Yeah.
I would rather say a right valuation now.
Of course. So there are again, a lot of ways that you can look at it. But at the end of the day, I feel that entrepreneur needs to think about the company first and then about himself. If he feels that with the right kind of capital coming in, the company is trajectory is going to change, then he he should be taking that call accordingly.
So now let's have some fun time.
Sure.
We'll have a visualization session wherein I want you to close your eyes and answer certain things to yourself. Okay. In normal times, if I tell you that, Rahul, why don't you create a brand which is a mammoth size thing, you would say that, Ashika, budgetary constraints hai, mujhe utna zyada invest nahi karna at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have to invest somebody, like you want to hire resources in terms of team, you would say that, yeah, I want to do that, but budget ka constraint hai, yeah, there is a limitation on XYZ, iska constraint hai, uska constraint hai. So many a times a business owner is not able to even think in the direction because of the constraints. If I tell you, ki Rahul, close your eyes and I remove all your constraints from your life, what is that one thing you would implement first? Let's do this. So close your eyes, take a minute and tell me what comes to your mind if you don't have any constraints of money, of time, of getting the resources, of putting the right people in the right place, having the right distribution network. What is the first thing you'll implement? Close your eyes and visualize. You have no constraints.
Just one thing, right?
Just one thing to begin with.
So to begin with, if I have no constraint come whatsoever, let it be on the distribution side, on the people side, and on the capital side, then I would just expand pan India in a year's time.
Why?
I think legacy brands have done a disservice to the beverage industry of the country by not been innovating on the flavors for so long, for decades together. We've just seen the typical colas or oranges or lemonades in the market, right? And I think the Gen Z right now has become very adventurous with their taste. They are now looking to associate with brands where they can call themselves as their own brand. In our kind of company, I say, okay, we are an MPB brand. It's like not my parents' brand, right? Because there's an increasing trend, especially post-COVID, that the young consumers don't want to be seen consuming the same brands with their parents or their grandparents are consuming, right? So I think this is just the right opportune time. I think the next 10 years is the time to build a brand in India, to build a consumer brand. So I think, this kind of time was not there before. So the next decade is definitely to build a consumer brand.
When you're saying this is the opportune time with the constraints that you have, which is the reality today,
Yeah.
can you make some changes on short-term basis that can help you penetrate in newer markets?
Yeah, of course. So we've already started making those changes. I think Q-commerce is one channel that's evolved, that's coming up really, really amazingly well. And Q-commerce has caught up. The adoption of Q-commerce by the Gen Zs has been phenomenal, And and what this particular channel is also doing is it's creating a level playing field for new age brands with these legacy brands as well, where I can, go and hit directly the end consumer. So I think we've already started moving in that direction
The help of quick commerce.
with quick commerce, and we plan to do that very aggressively in the coming few years as well. So I think we've already started moving in that direction.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what you visualized is what is going to happen in the very near future.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Looking forward to that. Rahul, 12 years in business has been a long journey so far.
Absolutely.
What was the worst phase during this 12 years in terms of business challenges?
So there have been two major kind of, events in the history. I mean, in our entrepreneurial journey last 12 years. One has been the demonetization. So why demonetization is because demonetization happened in the month of November. And essentially, November, December, Jan, Feb, these are very big months for us because, school colleges are open. It's festival time. You have Diwali, you have New Year, you have Christmas. So people are in a celebratory mode. So, the people went back to their entire purchase hierarchy, right? So first they were buying only essential items with whatever kind of money that they had. And at that point of time, please remember, UPI had not kicked in how much they have, how much the usage has kicked in right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still people are finding it tough to get that hard currency, right? So first, the moment that they're getting that hard currency, they were allocating it to the necessities, right? The second hierarchy of their purchase used to be their daily items, and the third kind of purchase item would be our kind of impulse category buys like beverages, snacks, biscuits, all that kind of ice creams. So we took a big hit at that point of time. So that was one big incident. The second incident was, of course, for us, it was COVID because the first wave and the second wave happened during peak summer from March to almost June, where there were two lockdown, the lockdown 1 and lockdown 2. And again, close to around about 35 to 40% of our revenue we derive from March to June. So these 2 months were badly stuck. And since we are an offline brand, we don't sell online that much. So definitely we didn't have people on the streets, shops were closed and all that. So that was a year of definitely, very much shaken our tank, hard hitting. And we said, now what? I mean, how are we going to survive those next 1 year, 1.5 year and all that? But by God's grace, everything fall in place. Well, we did our kind of tweaks to the distribution, I mean, manpower and everything. And yeah, we sailed through.
So, could you just dwell deep in what strategies worked with both these phases for you?
So when it came to the kind of demonetization, there's not a lot of stuff that we could do because people, as it is, didn't have cash. But we at least tried to. What we did was we gave out credit to the retailers. Essentially, our business philosophy from day one has been that we don't give out credit to our distributors or the retailers. But during that period, just to maintain our sales, we gave out credit for almost 15 to 20 days. I mean, that was definitely a big decision, but we had to do it. So that was one thing that we did. And at least, the sales were mitigated a little. And during Demon, what happened was we went a lot on the drawing board because pre-Demon, it was just about getting revenue. And all our profits we were plowing back to the growth of the company because we wanted to just keep increasing the realization that dawned upon to us that no, now it's the time that, we have to think about the bottom line as well. So post Demon, the philosophy as the company has been, how do you kind of get your efficiencies on the production side? How do you get efficiencies on the distribution side? How do you get efficiencies on your sales side? So there's been a lot of stuff that we've been working on for the last 4 years. And now at least those fruits are coming, anything that you kick off, it takes at least 2 years minimum to actually to see the fruits in, right? So now at least that thing is coming in as to, so this year, for the last 2 years, it should be, we've been doing healthy bottom lines as well. With a good kind of revenue growth. So we thought that probably the revenue growth will get affected if we don't, if we put a lot of focus on the bottom line. But lot many times, we go with the assumption that ऐसे होगा, लेकिन when you start implementing, वैसे होता नहीं है. So it's been a good thing that even the revenues have come in and as well as the bottom line.
Bottom line.
It's just that mind shift is required lot many times.
Yes, sir.
I think demonetization and the GST part has not the GST, sorry,
The lockdown.
the lockdown have played this in our kind of
So,
company.
what I understand from you, your story so far, Rahul, is there are three major things and such wonderful stories. One is the health challenge that you had, slip disc, that has brought a marathoner out of you. Second was your challenge with the lockdown, demonetization first, and then the lockdown. These were the two major business challenges.
Of course.
And that has brought your focus straight to the profitability of the business,
Of course.
which is the key. So you're now working on making the backbone of your business very strong. Now, so you're actually been a tough man, yeah.
Yeah, Ashika, especially when you burn the bridges that there's no going back. This is your only bread and butter kind of thing. Then you learn to swim, yeah. I mean, and and you become a great swimmer the moment that you actually swim in great ocean, right? And that's what we've been doing. And I'm sure that going forward also the journey is not going to be like a absolutely like a freeway. Especially the biggest learning has been, in India, you can't, business is not linear, right? Why we say business is not linear? You have your state government issues, you have something coming on the national part, but policy changes are there. I mean, with every government, some policy comes in and all that kind of stuff. But as an entrepreneur, if you want to build a business in India, you have to be super agile, you have to be super adaptive. There's no point crying government is this way, that way. आपको इंडिया में धंधा करना है तो you have to be, as an entrepreneur, you have to be thick skin and you have to be super agile.
So, Rahul, I keep saying this to my clients, there was a time where we used to have IQ. Then came EQ. Now it is adaptability quotient.
Absolutely.
With such changing times and such changing challenges, if you really have to stand tough, then you have to be adaptable.
Of
So
course.
how the entrepreneurs, the adaptability quotient is is a big,
Very
big
true, Ashika.
thing that
AQ.
one needs to. AQ.
That's one of the biggest takeaway from today's conversation, AQ.
Nice. So Rahul, let's have a fun game now. A rapid fire game. Without thinking, you will give a rating to each function of your business.
Okay.
Okay. So let me explain each function to you so you'll have clarity. So the first function is the management, okay, which is your leadership and your mindset. So quickly give a rating 1 to 10.
5.
Okay. The next function is marketing, where you create a brand and you increase your reach to your customers. So marketing के लिए आप कितने खुद को points दोगे? रियो को कितने points दोगे? 1 to 10.
6.
Okay. The next function is sales. How is your conversion when person comes to the retail store or through modern trade? If somebody is buying your product, how many people actually convert every time, and how much is your repeat customer base?
7.
Okay. Next is your people management skill. So how good would you rate yourself in terms of your HR? Various activities in HR, from the entry of a person in your company to the exit. 6. How is your finance, profitability, your taxation, your cash flows? Finance as a vertical.
7.
7. So Rahul, the sixth function of the business, operations.
Yeah.
The operations as a function ka objective is a happy customer.
Okay.
So in your case, from procurement to packaging to manufacturing to distribution to having the product on the shelf to the product getting consumed by the customer and his happiness. So this entire cycle would come under operations, and usko kitna rating doge? 1 to 10 mein?
7.
7. So if I see all the 6 functions, in spite of coming 12 years in business, going through the 3 major challenges, 1 being personal, 2 being business challenges, there's such a long way of improvement that Rahul will be working on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So mindset and leadership, most important, because जैसे आप हो वैसे आपका business होगा. You are going to reflect on your business heavily.
Right.
So your mindset and your leadership skills. So friends, in spite of going this long, if somebody truly even today feels there is a scope of improvement in every function of the business, that's a fantastic thing for him, because there is a way forward. There is a way forward of learning and growing his business. Also, what happens is, in business हमें ऐसे हमेशा लगता है कि मेरा business 10 साल का हो जाएगा, I'll be at a better space. Business 15 साल का हो जाएगा, I will have this big distribution network, or I'll have so many products or so many SKUs, I'll have a better day. It never happens, because when you reach that stage, you always feel कि मुझे और यहाँ पे improve करना है, मुझे finance और ज़्यादा improve करना है, मुझे marketing ज़्यादा improve करनी है, I want to enhance my brand, I want to create that kind of an equity, I want to improve my sales vertical, I want to work on making my people, my team happy. So ये कारवा खत्म ही नहीं होता, वो आगे चलता रहता है, आगे चलता रहता है. And in this journey, again some challenges would come, and another fourth major U-turn Rahul will have, like he has seen these 3 U-turns and that has changed the entire course of his business. So if you are going through such challenges and do a self-evaluation of these 6 functions, being business management, that is you who's reflecting on your business, your marketing, your sales, your operation, your people management skills, and your finance, and you will be able to get a scoring and concentrate on each of that function. Learn. The best thing is to learn and fight those challenges, create those goals and go for it. Your business will automatically go to the next level. Thanks, Rahul, to very candidly and openly putting light on each of your functions.
Thanks.
So, Rahul, when I coach a client, I specifically work on 2 things of a client, a business owner. One is his or her mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that is something that holds you back. And second, I work is the profitability.
Yeah.
And then we start laying processes for all the 6 functions of the business.
Yeah.
That's how the business grows vertically and horizontally. There's something that is bothering me as far as our ratings are concerned.
Sure.
You have given yourself 5 out of 10 on leadership and mindset. Why is that?
So, Ashika, I think for myself, I have set my standards for myself very high, right? So, I feel that, and I've already mentioned that I strongly follow the philosophy that I want to be a learner for life, right? So keeping that philosophy, I think that, there's lots and lots that I have to still cover on my entrepreneurial journey, right? I have a vision that Drew is just not the company that I want to be. I want to start multiple businesses going forward. So that's one aspiration. I want to basically create wealth for my employees, which still I've not been able to create that wealth. So my aspiration is to create wealth for my employees, right? My aspiration is to make Rio the most preferred kind of Gen Z beverage brand. I think there's still a long way to go that. So keeping all that, I have the kind of, targets that I've kept for myself. I still feel that there's a long way to go. Hence, I've rated myself at 5.
Is there anything that holds you back as far as your beliefs are concerned? Anything related with your childhood? Anything, any of the lessons that you have learned from the business? It could be the distribution challenge that you talked about. Is there anything that is holding you back in terms of your mindset for which you have given yourself 5 out of 10?
There's nothing holding me. I think just as I mentioned again, it's the aspiration that I've set for myself that there's still a lot of
Things to do.
There's still a lot of kind of kilometers to cover.
Let's
And
talk about running.
exactly, so I mean, and especially, this is where I actually take it from my marathon kind of experience that, and on the building a company or, being an entrepreneur, when you walk the journey of an entrepreneur, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to just keep going and going and going and going, and there is no finish line.
Lovely. Super.
Because in marathon, of course, you cross a finish line, but as soon as you cross for a finish line, then immediately you sign up for a new marathon.
And start preparing for it.
Start preparing for that.
Lovely, lovely. What a life lesson this is, Rahul. Rahul, short and crisp answers.
Yes.
What's the one best decision you have made for your business so far?
Hiring my head of sales at a very early kind of journey of our, when we are building the company. So in fact, where we 3 founders were drawing salary, so we took him almost like at a salary which was like 5 times higher than we founders as well. But we took that strong call because we wanted to build a very robust kind of distribution as well as a sales organization. So we hired him.
Was it a right decision?
I think that turned out very well.
Wonderful. What's the biggest risk you have taken in your business journey?
Starting Rio.
One person, live or dead, who is a business leader whom you would want to have a dinner with and a long chat.
That's Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber, who of course was a CEO, but he isn't the CEO anymore. The reason that I want to actually have a kind of dinner is because, he just kind of, he just invented this cab hailing kind of industry. And it's become like, nowadays you can't think life without hailing a cab, right? I mean that you can't think life without a Uber or a Ola, right? So and I have read a book on him, and he's a true hustler. Just kept going and going and going. The way that he's taken up governments all across the world, fought it out with them. Of course, those means, I don't want to follow those means, but that kind of gumption that you have, that okay, I would just want to go and take everything and blow this apart and build my company and take it across the world. So I think that's the one thing. I mean, I would love to have dinner and try to understand his kind of mindset while he was building Uber. In such a short period, he's created magic. He has created magic.
One business mistake that you'll never forget.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest business mistake that I will never forget is expanding too fast. So, when you start a company and when you start getting initial kind of uh, revenues, lot of reviews, Josh, that, yeah, now I'm unstoppable. It's like, just within a span of 6 to 7 years, I'm going to become a 100 crore company and everything. But that's the initial kind of thing that you're there, right? To get to the next level, right? So we expanded to a lot of geographies in, from the year 2015 to 2018, we expanded to almost close to around about 15 odd geographies. In that, just that, we had, let's take that first mover advantage. But we realized that the Indian FMCG space is very diverse. You have to continuously invest, and those territories which are already present in were then kind of calling out for do brand building exercises, because we have to recruit new consumers. So the biggest kind of mistake is don't kind of expand very fast. Just concentrate on handful of territories, get all the best practices, get the customers, become the top kind of brand in that particular kind of
Segment.
geographies, and make your story over there, and then kind of
Replicate
expand
the model.
and replicate the model. Yeah, so that's the biggest.
So instead of thinly spreading pan India, focus on
Go deep.
geographies
Just go deep.
and go thick there.
Go deep in the existing territories.
One thing that you love about being a business owner.
The biggest love that I get, or the biggest kick that I get when I see a consumer, holding this can of Rio and sipping, and "दूर से देखा," या फिर, just you go there and so, you introduce yourself, that what you do, and I'm the owner of, Rio, and they said, "Oh, you are the owner of Rio. I sip on your beverages so often." Or then, you meet you meet somebody a little, who's a dad or a mom, and then you say, I run you. Oh, my kid loves your brand. I think that's the biggest joy that I get. That gives me a kick,
Wonderful.
when I actually get the first hand kind of love from the consumer as well as their parents.
Excellent. What's one thing you hate about being a business owner?
I think I don't hate anything. I'm just loving myself. I think these challenges is just making me much more evolved as an entrepreneur. One of the very important thing at a company that we try to imbibe early on has been learn to fail fast. ठीक है, गलती हो गई है, ठीक है. It's pretty human to do errors, but what have you learned from that mistake? Okay, take the best part of those and implement that in your next kind of project or way forward itself. So that's the philosophy that we live by, is learn to fail fast. And for me, every day is a new day, and I take every challenge as a new challenge.
Rahul, this kissa of mine came to my mind आपकी बात सुनते सुनते. So this was way back in 2003, where my primary business was just 4 years old, and things were so difficult. एक बंदे को recruit करना
And
was very, very difficult. The
Absolutely.
kind of cost, the kind of portfolio they would expect, I could not afford them. I'm talking about 20 years back.
Uh-huh.
And there came a stage that to hire people, I need that kind of clientele. to hire those kinds of clients, I need those kinds of people, and I need to give them those kind of services. It was very frustrating, and I actually thought that with my kind of qualification and experience, had I taken up a job, probably, the salary would have been much higher, my income would have been much better. And you will be surprised, I went for interviews. One at Aditya Birla, we had Aditya Birla AT&T in Pune. So वहाँ पे Copcom के लिए I applied for, and I got the offer letter in my hand. The same time, Tata Motors was launching a company. They already had a company called Tata Automation Limited, and they wanted to have a in-house communication department, and they were looking at consultants, communications professionals who could come and help them build this division department. एंड टाटा बिरला AT&T का हाथ में ऑफर लेटर लेके आई सेड कि ओके लेट मी ट्राई दिस कंसल्टेंसी अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड आई मेट मिस्टर पावा हु वाज द देन मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर ऑफ द कंपनी एंड मैं उनके केबिन से बाहर निकले, बड़ा सा पोस्टर लगा हुआ था दैट सेड कि व्हेन यू हिट द बॉटम द ओनली थिंग यू कैन डू इज टू बाउंस बैक. And it hit me so badly. It hit me at the right place at the right time.
Amazing.
I was like, no, I can't give up on my business because I'm at the rock bottom. इससे नीचे और क्या जाएंगे,
Yes.
And then I did take the consulting offer because it was just 2 days a week for half a day, and it was with the tapas, so it was adding to my profile. So I did that assignment while concentrating on my business, and the way the turnaround happened. So
Amazing.
while we are talking about your U-turn, I remembered my U-turn, and this is my U-turn story. So wonderful. So we'll now continue with the round again. Rahul, one habit that changed Rahul.
Fitness. Getting into fitness. I mean, fitness has got so much of structure in my life. It's made me so much disciplined. It's made me so much determined in life. I think, if not for fitness, I would be a very different entrepreneur. So all the credit goes to definitely my fitness regime for getting so much of structure in my life.
12 years ka total experience in 3 words.
All is well.
3 words, all is well. Wonderful, Rahul. Loved it. If you have to give one piece of advice to your younger self who just started the business, क्या बोलोगे?
Okay. One piece of advice is, Rahul, just concentrate of handful of cities or territories for couple of years. Deep dive in those territories and only then expand.
ओवरनाइट अगर बिजनेस सोचो डबल हो गया, फर्स्ट थिंग क्या करोगे?
ओवरनाइट बिजनेस डबल हो गया, सोचो क्या करूंगा मैं? पार्टी करूंगा.
मुझे बोला ना.
I'll party with my team because अगर business double होगा तो it's a teamwork, right? मैंने अकेले ने तो नहीं किया. I'll party with my team.
I always say this, Rahul, that if you have to grow in business, it will only and only be because of your team, and team will be the only source of your scalability. So
Absolutely.
love your team. Wonderful, wonderful. Rahul, what's in store for Rio for the next 5-10 years to come?
Very good question. I think, the way that we structured the company overall from the production, I mean, on the manufacturing side, on the sales and distribution side, with marketing now, focus is going to be on marketing. We've got an excellent product mix, product portfolio in place, right? So now a lot of impetus is going to be on marketing side. So we are very poised to, make this almost a pan-India brand. I think in the next 5 years, there is a great potential to take the company to almost around about 400, 450 crores kind of top line. So yeah, all the levers are built in so well. So I think there's a great opportunity to build that 400, 500 crore brand at Rio.
As a business coach, my focus or my wish for Rio would be that while you make this a 400, 450 crore business, the focus should be on the profitability. Definitely, and that's a promise I get from you. What's the kind of legacy you would leave behind? You would want to leave behind?
Legacy that, I want to impact maximum people's life on my work journey, on my fitness journey. I still haven't deep dive a lot on the social side, right? So one thing that I aspire to do in the next couple of years is get into the social side as well. So I want to impact maximum people in my entire lifespan. So that's the legacy that I want to leave. के हाँ कुछ तो सबके लिए करके गया.
One thing that touched me when in the conversation earlier is when you said that I want to create a finance security for my team.
Yep.
So that's something which is a fantastic vision to have.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's another thing to add on.
Because we believed very strongly at the company that you have to have the right culture, you have to have the right people working for you, because आपका strategy कितना भी भारी रहेगा, but अगर culture wrong रहा तो फिर it's no use. There's a amazing kind of saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast, right? I mean, we strongly believe that you have to have the right culture in your company. So we work day in, day out of that.
Blessed is the team, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The definition of success to Rahul must have changed over the last 12 years. What is the definition of success today?
Okay. Yes, Ashika, when I started the business, the success used to be, every year the success keeps to change that, okay, the moment I will hit this kind of revenue, I'm successful. The moment I will hit these many kind of retail points, I'm successful. But having, been in this entrepreneurial journey for the last 12 years, I think for success for me is um, when I'm in a room and when my employees have a big smile on their face, that's success for me. When I'm in my room, when I'm in a room with my friends and my friends really are having a good time in my company, that's success for me. When I'm sitting on the dining table with my family, when my family is having a ball of a time in my company, that's success for me. So yeah, this is what success is for me now.
Tathastu. Rahul, unfortunately, in our country, in the first 3 to 5 years of inception, 80%, 80, I would not be exaggerative if I say 80 to 90% of the businesses shut shop.
Yeah.
Because they are not able to take the business challenges, the pressures, etc., etc. They give up on the challenges.
Correct.
So, what's that one message you would like to give to the entire startup community or those businesses who have, phased off that startup age, but now are in the second phase of stability and growth? What's your message to them?
If I have to analyze my story as an entrepreneur, right, I would just break it up into years. So essentially, the way that I see it, your 1 to year 3 is all about finding the product market fit. So whatever you're doing, are there customers for it? If there are customers, are you getting repeats from those customers? So 3 years, though, you have to spend on perfecting the product and making sure that you're getting repeats on that. From year 3 to year 6 is all about getting the processes right. As you already mentioned, the operations right, the finance right, and everything. So that, after 6th year, your company becomes like a well-oiled machinery, right? Then from year 6 to year maybe 10, it's all about then, getting all the levers which are ready to take you for the next trajectory of growth, right? So that's
You
you need,
leverage.
yeah, you leverage that goodwill, you leverage that manufacturing processes, you leverage all that. So it's the time for that. So that's how I would like to break it up. So that's the thing. So 3 years is too small a time to just give up. I think good time would be at least you have to spend 5 to 6 years uh, before jumping to the conclusion whether you want to quit being an entrepreneur or not. That's been my kind of
And then, if you have invested emotionally, financially, intellectually in your business for 5, 6 years,
Yeah.
then why should you give?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Rahul, thank you so much for coming here today and taking us through your journeys, especially those three major challenges. I'll never forget one on the health front and two major business challenges, and you have overcome those. And I'm sure when you are looking at 400 crores and 450 crores, all the challenges, you'll give it a tough fight. So thanks to you for coming here and also sharing your experiences with the audiences and giving them such lifelong business lessons. So thank you so very much.
Pleasure was all mine, Ashika. Thanks a lot. It's always very nostalgic to go back as to how we started and to share the journey. And you gave me this opportunity on your podcast. Just before I leave, there's this amazing kind of African proverb that I would just want to tell the viewers that a cat who aspires to be a lion needs to quit running behind rats. Okay.
Awesome. Super.
So India is a land of opportunity, and the India growth story has just started. So anybody who's looking to be an entrepreneur, I think this is just a great time to get into entrepreneurship and build a company, because India is the place.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So inspiring. Lovely. Thank you so much, Rahul. So friends, Rahul को एक like बनता है. Do share it with your friends. Do watch the entire episode. And there is light after this dark tunnel is the lesson we learn from Rahul. And that has to be your motto going forward in your business. So continue watching episodes after episodes for this dose of inspiration, and see you very soon in the next episode of U-Turn with Ashika Sarkar. And this was U-Turn with Rahul Sangoi. Thank you so much, Rahul.
Thank you, Ashika.
And friends, if you resonate with me, there are two ways you can connect with me. One is write to us and share your business story. And if your business story is equally inspiring, you can be our next guest. So do write to us. Also, I conduct business clarity workshops. If you are facing certain business challenges where you think I'll be able to help you, I'll be more than happy to connect with you. Click the link below, fill in the form, and my team will get in touch with you. With these inspiring stories, I want you to keep learning, keep growing, and keep scaling up your business. Never give up on your dreams, never give up on your business. Do good, take your business to the next level. All the best. Take care.